Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to the channel, or welcome back to the channel. We are the Mile High Property Brothers. Super fun one today, maybe fun. I think it's fun, it's definitely interesting. We're talking about the 7 reasons not to move to Boulder.
Let's check it out, guys. What's up, guys? I'm Eli Schmidt. This is my partner, Will Grimes. If it's your first time checking out our channel, hit that subscribe button because we're dropping a new one of these every Tuesday and every Thursday, telling you everything there is to know about moving to or living in the entire Denver, Colorado area.
100%, and we are licensed brokers here in the state of Colorado, which means just as much as we love making these videos, we love more to help you with those real estate needs. So that number that's popping up below, we are the guys answering phone calls, text messages, and those emails. With that being said, let's get into Boulder and the 7 reasons not to move there 2023.
Let's go ahead and start off with maybe the most obvious for you, but that is going to be a higher cost of living and just especially like higher housing cost.
Correct, and more importantly, it's not that you can't afford it. You probably can afford it, but the point is like bang for buck, are you paying more for what you want to enjoy? Like, so for example, Boulder's a huge university town. Colorado University is in Boulder. You've got Deion Sanders running that football team now. You're gonna have a lot of publicity. You're gonna have a lot of people coming in there and going to games. That increases like your overall just equity in that area, but are you necessarily capitalizing on all of Boulder, or do you just like to live in the mountains? Because if that's the case, you've got Golden, you've got Colorado Springs, you've got Castle Rock, you've got Evergreen. If it's just for the mountains, like guys, the Rocky Mountains are Rocky Mountains. Yes, there are some amazing things about Nederland and some national parks that are up there in Boulder, but the bottom line is, unless you're really trying to have everything that coincides with Boulder and to really like enjoy all of that. Like for example, like would you live on oceanfront property if you had no interest going to the beach? You're gonna pay a lot for what you're not necessarily using. So a little bit similar as far as like everything there is about Pearl Street, about the college, but there's a lot of traffic that comes with that. There's a lot of people in and out because of that. And if you're not really there for that, should you be there at all? Something that you should be thinking of. Now, resale on that, yes, you're gonna have a lot of equity. It's Boulder. Boulder is nationally recognized. Just like in Aspen, Colorado. Boulder, Colorado, very known. So you might be in it for the equity on that. You're definitely not gonna be losing money if you decide to sell out of Boulder, but definitely some things to think about.
Yes, and just for a little bit of comparison, average home prices in the Denver area are right around that $600,000 to $700,000 price point. In Boulder, they're going to be $1 million to 1.2 for your average home price.
$1 million.
Now, point number 2, piggybacking off of the higher cost of living, is going to be extra limited housing inventory. Now, you know, Colorado as a whole, especially the Denver metro area, even though we do have a little bit more homes on the market than the past couple of years, it's not that much more. We still are at a very, very limited housing supply.
We call it healthy.
Healthy, yeah, it definitely keeps things competitive.
You've got steady sellers that come through, but we've got steady buyers that come through throughout the year.
Buyers.
So it's very healthy as far as like Colorado's overall market.
So Boulder, there's just gonna be basically an exaggerated version of that, okay? Especially because Boulder, they're not approving any more new builds. They're not approving any more lots. You know, pretty much the lots that you have in Boulder are the lots that you're gonna get, which really creates that limited supply.
Correct, and that's also what creates the equity out there. Like they're really protecting the nostalgicness and the overall atmospherics of what it feels like to be in Boulder. Now, if you're closer to the campus, you're gonna get a lot more people visiting for football games because Deion Sanders is now the head coach. You got a lot of blue chip players that are gonna be playing. You're gonna get a lot of people from Denver wanting to go to those games. So the influx as far as tourist style, people coming in and out of like downtown Boulder, you're gonna get more of it. If you're up in the mountains, it's still gonna be plenty quiet. If you happen to grab a lot and you like being up there, clients that have purchased with us, they love it, and they love it for that reason. So yes, it's kind of hard to get into Boulder depending on where you want to be, but once you're in, you're kind of glad that it was hard getting in because now on your way out, like it just really holds that value.
That's true. Now that kind of segues perfectly into our third point, and that is the traffic and the congestion that you're gonna have up there. One of the things we love talking about with Denver is just with our highways and just the way that it's structured is that, you know, yeah, during rush hour it'll slow down a little bit, but unless there's an accident or something, you're not having a ton of traffic. With Boulder, you do have, again, limited growth, right? So the streets are pretty much the streets that you got. So Baseline and then Highway 36 that are coming in there, both of those streets can get pretty congested really all throughout the day.
I'm so glad he said Baseline, because I always say Barcelona. Because on Camp Pendleton, when I was in the...
Really?
Hold your tongue. You should be a proud American for the story.
Barcelona?
Barcelona, because he was one of our famous Marines.
Ah, there we go.
John Barcelona.
There we go.
And
okay.
on Camp Pendleton in California, there was one of our main roadways, segways, was Barcelona Road.
There we go. There we go.
You should be privy.
Okay, I should. My Marine Corps history is a little...
Eli was homeschooled and grew up in a rock band. I served our country.
There we go. There we go. All right.
Shame. So, either way, the bottom line, getting back to what you guys are watching, the main thing is Highway 36 pretty much turns into Baseline Road.
Yeah.
Right, so there's some indirect ways in and out of Boulder, but for the most part, there's one way in and out of Boulder.
Yeah.
On Highway 36, so there is gonna be more traffic, something to consider. If you don't have to commute to Denver or Longmont or anywhere else, like, not a problem, because you're not necessarily stuck in rush hour traffic. If you're commuting to Denver every day for work or a couple times a week, watching those traffic times and maybe going after or before could be a good thing, but definitely traffic is to be considered.
Now, speaking of traffic, let's talk public transportation, because this is something that also is not the greatest up in Boulder.
Right.
There's a good bus system that they have up there, but outside of that, that's pretty much it.
They do have bikes.
They do have bikes.
They do have scooters.
Yes, they do.
And they do have Crocs. And I want you to know, if you guys are moving to Boulder, it's a very active city. So it's like, if you need public transportation, they might be giving you the weird look. Like, why aren't you walking in your Crocs?
That's true. That's
Getting
true.
some exercise. But the benefit is, once you're down on Pearl Street or anywhere else, there's a lot of grocery shopping there. There's a lot of mom and pop shops around. So it is a walkable city as far as like the areas where you'd be shopping. More than walkable. If you live in the mountains, you definitely want to drive down.
Yes, yeah, definitely, like, make sure you've got a vehicle up there. But again, don't move to Boulder with the expectation that, you're going to be able to, just hop on the train and take it to your office and take it here and take it there. You're definitely going to need a car for the most part. Now, leading into our next point, Boulder is a smaller city, a much smaller city compared to Denver. And like Will mentioned Pearl Street earlier, they do have a downtown area, but it is small and pretty limited. Some amazing restaurants down there, but outside of that, not really much left in the sense of nightlife.
No nightlife, I don't want to say no, but very little nightlife. You do have like Avanti down there on Pearl Street. So you got some like nice adult areas to go out to, but it's nothing like Denver. As far as like Costco's and Walmart's and Sam's Clubs and all those things, definitely not, right? So a quick comparison, what you're gonna get in Castle Rock with the mountain views and what you're looking at, along with like the big commercial shopping and the schools and all of that stuff, like you're not quite getting that at all, not even close in Boulder, but most people that are going to Boulder, they're not looking for that in the first place.
Yeah.
But it's something to keep in mind, because as we show a lot of the mountains, as we show a lot of Colorado, we definitely want to make sure that you guys understand the differences in Boulder. And hey, even though it's beautiful, there just might be some things that aren't as daily drivable, right? Like if you need a daily driver, you need a pickup truck, but you're looking at a Ferrari, there's some really nice pickup trucks nowadays. Ferraris are a little fickle. They're not necessarily for every day, right? And I don't know if that's correlating or not, but the point is, if there's just a lot of daily things that you need, depending on your lifestyle, that might not be the spot for you.
Well, and nightlife specifically. So you're gonna have a lot of like your normal college bars and stuff, which I guess if you're in college going to CU, your nightlife consists of going to college bars.
Getting hammered.
Yes, but no nightclubs, anything like that. You do have the Fox Theater up there, which, you have some good like local music artists come through. But for the most part, if you're looking for any sort of, significant nightlife, you might want to go check out Lodo or something like that down in Denver.
Or grow up.
Grow up.
You live in Boulder, you're spending more than $1 million on a home, you probably got to wake up and get your work the next day, affording that home. So I bet what we're saying is mildly interesting of whether you guys can go out at night or not.
Now let's dive into the winters, because you are going to have a lot more harsh winters in Boulder. And this kind of ties in with just any city that is nestled up in the foothills like that is, but Boulder being north and being more west, you're definitely getting hit harder with snow.
And let's just do both sides of the coin. So you're at altitude, you get a lot more inclement weather, right? So you're gonna get a lot more snow, which means like the shoveling, the plowing, the snowmobiling, like a lot of that is way more prevalent. If you guys are in Nederland, which is just behind Boulder, even more. Something to consider. The roadways sometimes can get plowed, sometimes they can, depending on how tucked back you are. If you're around the university, you're gonna be pretty good to go as far as public services, getting on the roads well, but let's also consider the summer. We do get fires up in the mountains. Now, the last couple of years that you guys have heard about when there's been fires in Boulder, those were man-made. So not cool, people not obeying the rules, definitely not a regular for Boulder, not even a regular for Colorado. However, whether it's man-made or not, it's still something to consider. People go up and they're doing things in the mountains recreationally. They make a mistake, they start a fire, or whether it's just the heat that starts a fire. When you're up there closer to the mountains and closer to all those trees, whether it's man-made or not, it's just something that you have to consider, that mistakes are gonna happen or natural things are gonna happen that you just have to consider. Now, unless you're really tucked back up into the mountains and in Needleton or upper mountains in Boulder, you don't have to worry as much if you're more toward town. It's more about just considering the snow and things like that than fire. But hey, we did have a fire in Boulder County in Superior. That destroyed a lot of homes. Again, like some error with windstorms and electrical, but again, still something to consider.
Yes.
So if we're gonna consider the snow, let's also consider the summer and some fires. You do not see a lot of fires in Castle Rock. You don't see a ton of fires in like Colorado Springs. Those altitudes are lower. Even though it's still part of the mountains, it's a lower altitude. I think that helps with some of the climate and whatever it may be, but again, just something to consider.
And a point to that also is factoring in higher cost of insurance. So because you're in an area that does have higher wildfire risk, insurance will be significantly higher, especially if you decide to move up into the mountains.
I'm like running a quote right now.
$1 million.
No, I'm kidding. I like that clip. It's super funny. It's a classic. If you're in your 30s, you remember going up to that movie. No, it's not necessarily your policy, but well placed. Funny clip.
All right, now keep in mind, our final point here is that Boulder is very much a tourist destination. And I don't just mean tourists coming from all over the country, I mean tourists as in locals to the Denver metro area. During the weekend, you know, whether it's the farmer's market that they're having up there on Pearl Street, or it is just the hiking trails or whitewater rafting, kayaking, anything like that, mountain biking, all the things that you can do up in Boulder, guys, it gets really, really busy and congested on the weekends.
Right, we've been kind of insinuating that through all of our other points, but it's definitely worth its own point and its own segregation of just highlighting that, yes, it's gonna be considered. Now, for the most part, everyone gets along up there. Everyone is out there to be active and exercise and enjoy everything that Boulder is. So it's not necessarily something that's a nuisance, but it does crowd some of the trails. It does crowd some of the shopping and things like that. But when you're a local and you're 5 minutes from Pearl Street, you can definitely go to Pearl Street on a Thursday night instead of a Saturday night and enjoy some things spring and summer at a lot more of your convenience. But it's definitely like whether you, and some people like a lot of people out, so I don't want to necessarily overspeak to that, but if you don't, going on a different evening or things like that, or hiking at different times just to have some of your own peace and quiet, definitely not a bad idea. And depending on where you live, you might just have trails right by your freaking house. Some of our clients live in the mountains of Boulder and they walk out their back door and they're hiking.
Yep, it is, it is. So guys, with all these points that we just mentioned about why you may not want to move to Boulder, ultimately Boulder is a fantastic location for a ton of people, just with the nature, the food, the vibe, the sense of community that you have up there. Boulder has just done an extremely good job of maintaining their culture and everything that makes Boulder what it is.
And I want to leave you with this, because if you're still watching, that means you are part of our culture, you're part of our family, you guys are diehard Will and Eli's. If you're watching this, it is Tuesday, which is amazing. By Thursday, we will have our new son here. So we've been hour by hour, day by day right now, trying to like get over a cold. So you guys can tell I've been having a little bit of a cold. The family's had a cold. We're getting filming in any day now. We're gonna have our new son. His name is Cameron Lane. He will be here by this week. So when you guys see our Thursday video, I might have some photos, or I'll be talking more about the birth of our son. But we appreciate all of you guys. Like everything we do that makes possible for how we live is because of you guys and your support and your guys' trust in us, being licensed brokers and trusting us with your real estate needs. And yes, I'm throwing that number up below as I'm still talking and saying that yes, we are licensed brokers. And just as much as we love talking about our families and making these videos, we would love more to help you with your real estate needs. So that number that's still there, we are the guys who answer the phone calls, text messages, and emails. But getting back to it, I can't be more thankful for all of you that have trusted us with your real estate needs, and I can't be more thankful for all of you that have supported just me and Eli since the beginning with everything that we've been doing to just bring the best content for you guys and just really help clients the best that we can, and to get to remote to be around you guys and help you with as much as we can before you guys make that purchase. But I'm excited for our new son. Thursday, when you see that video come out, we might have some more photos or whatnot, or maybe we'll wait till the following Tuesday.
Yeah, maybe Tuesday.
Might be Tuesday. I might be like, I don't need a camera in my wife's face as we're doing that. But again, can't thank you guys enough.
Yes.
And with that being said, enjoy the rest of your early week, and we will see you guys here in just a couple days.
Love you guys. Appreciate you. See you next time.
See you guys.